If you're leading at a high level, but noticing your clarity, speed, or decision making feels heavier than it used to, download the Executive Capacity Audit in the show notes. It will show you exactly where your performance is breaking down. Welcome back to Longevity Unlocked. I'm Sherri Austin, registered nurse and executive longevity advisor. I help CEO founders and senior leaders protect decision quality by stabilizing the physiology that drives it. Because leadership is not just strategic, it's biological. Last week, we reframed the problem. We talked about how leadership performance is not a time issue, it's a capacity issue. But today, we're going deeper because what most leaders don't see is the cost. Not the obvious cost, not burnout, not stepping away, the hidden cost. By the end of this episode, you're going to understand how declining capacity silently impacts your decision making, why high performers don't notice it early, and how this creates risk not just for you, but for your entire organization. Declining capacity doesn't look like failure. It looks like subtle change. There's this high-performing executive. She's still delivering, still leading, and still showing up. But behind the scenes, she's rereading emails more than once, taking longer to make decisions, asking for more input than she used to. Nothing is wrong, but everything is heavier. That's the beginning of declining capacity. From a cognitive standpoint, when the brain is under sustained load, processing speeds slows, working memory decreases, and decision confidence drops. This is tied to sleep fragmentation, chronic cortisol elevation, and glucose instability in the brain. I just want you to understand something for a minute, and this is important. This doesn't create obvious dysfunction. It creates subtle inefficiency. When I worked in critical care environments, the most dangerous patients weren't always the ones crashing. It was the ones slowly trending in the wrong direction. And then all of a sudden, if you're not observant and you're not aware, what was a slow trend becomes a fast decline with possible catastrophic results. Leadership works the same way. Except in leadership environments, there's no alarms to let you know that there's a slow decline. There's no alerts coming into your phone or through your computer to let you know that your cognitive capacity is slowly eroding. There's just slow, subtle degradation. And let me tell you where this becomes a leadership risk. There was another leader, still high functioning, but now he was taking longer meetings. His decisions took more discussion. His execution was slower because he didn't trust his decisions. And the team started feeling it before the leader even does. And that kind of uncertainty, it trickles downstream and it shapes the culture of the organization. See, when you're under cognitive load, the prefrontal cortex requires more energy. So you become less efficient. And one thing our brain is meant to do is to keep us safe. So anything that looks like danger, any uncertainty, feels like alarm inside the brain. So it is going to automatically default to safer, slower decisions. And this leads to risk aversion, decision delays, and overanalysis. A couple of mornings ago, I had to take a step back and do a full cognitive reset before I could even move forward. I had personal issues that collided into my morning. And I was just emotionally unstable and my nervous system was deregulated. So what I did was I extended my cognitive reset because as a leader, And like I said in an earlier live, I am the queen of thugging it out. But that particular morning, I knew that thugging it out was not an option. And as I studied this work, I realized the effects that it has on my decision quality. So I no longer thug it out. I recognized the subtle signs, and I immediately stopped and extended my cognitive reset to discharge the anxious energy out of my body. Came back and I did a quiet meditative reset. And I was able to go on throughout my day, and I was a lot more productive and a lot more effective than if I just tried to struggle through the day and hope that it goes away. Let me give you a key insight. High performers don't avoid overload. They learn how to reset it. Now let's zoom out, because this doesn't stop at the individual level. At the organizational level, slower decisions, increased rework, and communication breakdowns, they show up as more meetings, more alignment conversations, because there's less clarity across the board. Decision fatigue research shows as decisions accumulate, quality declines, your speed declines, your avoidance increases. And leaders compensate by delegating too late, delaying decisions, and seeking unnecessary input. I made a very clear decision recently. I will not go back to operating in a system that depletes my capacity. That's leadership clarity, and that's capacity protection. The risk is not burnout. The risk is making slower decisions, making less precise decisions, creating downstream inefficiencies, all while still functioning. So here's how to identify some early signals. Number 1, are decisions taking longer? Are you rereading information? Are you needing more input than usual? That's your early warning system. Because remember, like I said earlier, burnout starts out slow. Cognitive capacity erosion is quiet. By the time it gets to burnout, it's visible, it's loud, and sometimes the effects are catastrophic. Number 2, reduce cognitive load, not add more discipline. You don't have a discipline problem. You have a capacity problem. So something that can help you is to make fewer decisions per day. Batch low-level decisions. Simplify your inputs. And now we're in the age of AI. And with the age of AI, there's computers sending inputs to you at all times of the day and night. It has our system constantly on because it's a computer. But your brain, it's finite. It cannot take inputs all day long around the clock. You cannot function efficiently with an elevated cortisol level because your brain feels like it's in fight or flight mode. And in that mode, your decision quality degrades. So this is not about working harder. It's about working cleaner. And number 3, build recovery infrastructure. There's 3 layers to your recovery infrastructure. I call it BAS. B for baseline. That's your sleep quality. That's your daily rhythm. Not how long you slept, but did you get sufficient enough sleep? How's your REM cycles, your deep sleep? The quality. Did you wake up feeling foggy? Or did you wake up feeling clear? Are you tired already and you need 10 cups of coffee, 2 Red Bulls, and a case of Coke to get through the day? A is active resets. This is your midday cognitive resets. I take a cognitive reset after every 90-minute block and after lunch. This resets your body. My first cognitive reset especially, I don't take a phone, I don't take podcasts, I don't check emails, I do nothing. I just walk in silence. I listen to the birds chirping, the wind blowing, the dogs barking, in subtle quiet so that my brain can reset. And then the S is strategic. This is your weekly capacity protection. How are we doing on the weekends? Are we partying hardy, revisiting our teenage years and our college years? Are we scrolling? Are we taking work home for the weekend and answering endless emails? Or are we actually sitting in quiet, sitting in stillness, taking protected decision time to just think, process, decompress? Without this recovery infrastructure, your performance will remain inconsistent. I have a reflection question for you. Where in your leadership right now are you compensating for declining capacity instead of correcting it? I'm going to repeat it one more time. Where in your leadership right now are you compensating for declining capacity instead of correcting it? If this episode resonated, share it with another leader. Download the Executive Capacity Audit. Follow me for weekly LinkedIn Live mini executive sessions on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram at Ask Nurse Sherri, Monday through Friday at 12:30 p.m. You can also follow me on Substack at Executive Longevity. I have Substacks that drop every Tuesday and Sunday. And you can follow me across all platforms at Ask Nurse Sherri. Until next time, protect your capacity, protect your legacy.